So excited because today I'm taking you through a little bit more of an immersive tour of the entire X-Men versus Sentinel Dio, which is right behind me. I've been collecting this since 2020, and I mean, we've come a long way. We own every piece. I want to share with you how I displayed mine, ideally how I wanted to display mine. Before we even dive into any of that, how rude of myself, let me introduce myself. My name is Jean-Pierre Bon Jovi. I'm a statue collector. I'm a 90s kid at heart. I was born in 89, but I grew up in the 90s. And everything on this channel is 90s related, nostalgic. And I'm again, as I mentioned, I'm a collector at heart, and it means the world to have you here. So make sure you join our fellow enchanters in our collective. Hit that subscribe button below, and make sure you turn on all notifications. I upload content every Monday and Thursdays, so make sure to subscribe and hit that bell to be notified. And without further ado, let's dive in and let's take you on a tour of this immersive Dio. So let's dive into this incredible Dio. Now, the only piece I do not have displayed currently, and again, I want to probably get some shelving units up here with additional pieces that are coming out. I'll probably have like an additional 3 to 4 proximity pieces that will fit because they're smaller in base, and so there's crevices that they will fit in. But I definitely want to get some form of a sick shelving unit that's gonna blend into this Dio. So let's go ahead and immerse ourselves further into this display. Now it is a very challenging display to just create. It right here on camera it doesn't look that big, but this is over, I forget how many inches. I think we estimated this. It's close to it's about 5 feet long, and ideally I'd like it to be 6 feet, so it would have more space. I also ideally would want to like put it like on a table, like center, so you can just do a 360 and you can see a more ideal look of it. By the way, we're filming a video currently, so that's why you see frozen there. But the only piece I have not displayed so far, because it's just so massive, is Mojo. He's in that cabinet while we figure out how we're gonna manage. So we're gonna start here with Sentinel number 1, the one that started it all. And again, it's the most coveted piece in this series. Currently goes for about $5,000 in the secondary market. It's insane. There we have Beast. Rogue. A lot of people give this Rogue so much negative criticism. I think she looks incredible, and it's mainly her side profile there, but obviously she's grinning and she's just pissed, and it's so iconic to the 90s series, and you don't even see that side of her. It's really you only see her side profile. I think she looks amazing. I absolutely love her, and it's that range of emotion that they all have in this first series, how they're all battling the Sentinel, which is my absolute favorite. Here we have Wolverine as he's busting through the chest, which looks absolutely magical, for lack of a more dramatic word. Then we have a Cyclops over here with his optic blast, which looks amazing. Now, I've added so many other like characters and stuff all over the Dio, but we'll dive into that in a moment. And of course, the most sought after figure, which is exclusive only to this Dio, Jubilee. She looks amazing. Her portrait just looks effortless, so smooth. Her color story is so retro to the 90s. It's just iconic. It's just, this entire Dio just oozes Jim Lee, X-Men 92. It just looks amazing. And then we have what I added to this base. Here we have the base. Now, I did move the portrait out. It usually would lay right where Scarlet Witch is, but I added Scarlet Witch there because she has that grandfather clock she's hovering over, and I think she just looks perfect there. So I added this here. I think it looks better on an angle, regardless. And then we have Emma, and she looks incredible. She also marries beautifully right here. And then we have Jean. Now, Jean is the only one that's not on a flat surface, she's kind of elevated, right above that statue. It just doesn't fit perfectly. It does if you turn it around, but then she'd be facing the other way. And I mean, she's pivotal, right? She's the original X-Men, and she gets to be full front and center, and she looks incredible, incredible, incredible as she's between the Sentinel's thighs. Amazing. So what we did here is I'm gonna get like something to elevate Sabretooth because he's kind of hidden there, and I want to get like some sort of an acrylic base, and those acrylic bases ideally cover them with some form of like paper or adhesive, something to make it look a little bit more like authentic to the school setting, like the wood base. But there we have Sabretooth. And then right on this acrylic stand, we have Havoc. He just arrived 2 weeks ago, and he looks amazing. I kept him with his ability, with the switch outs of his ability, because I think they just look freaking amazing. And then back here we have one of my favorites ever, the Forge proximity piece is absolutely just incredible. I kind of want him front and center though, because he's just so magical. But we'll definitely have to figure out where we're gonna place him. Here we have Omega Red. I'm like, for a moment there I was forgetting your name. We have Omega, and he looks amazing back there. Absolutely love him there. And as you can see, we have Nightcrawler's Bamf right by the stairs right there. Behind Cyclops, we have Bishop. And then we have Silver Samurai. And they're on an acrylic stand in the back as well. And then the two most coveted pieces and sought after pieces, Professor Xavier and Mystique. And they're together because they do have this similar like carpet tapestry right near them. So they look beautiful together. And it's also right behind Gambit on Sentinel number 2. So here we have Sentinel number 2, Juggernaut busting through the door. As you can see, these come out of the display, so I have to be very mindful, and that's where I'll be sitting. So I have to be very mindful with that, with that doors in particular. And here we have Juggernaut. He's smashing through and connecting with Sentinel number 2, who's the most damaged, and of course Magneto tearing apart the Sentinel's head. This piece is just absolutely incredible. Those are the only 3 proximity pieces that come in this Sentinel. And then right back here, as you can see, Colossus has ripped through one of the Sentinel's legs, and he's about to chuck him in the head with it. I kind of wish I could do something else with the Blob. It was literally the only position I could put him in, which is like, I would hate to have the Blob facing that way versus facing front and center. But his base is just so massive, and it was just a great spot to put him for now, temporarily. I most likely the Blob will be one of the pieces we add up here alongside Mojo. Then my favorite piece, it's funny because I say Forge is my favorite piece. I originally said Cable was my favorite piece, but then we have Sauron. It's between those 3. They're my 3 favorite proximity pieces. And here we have Sauron, and he's just, look at that wingspan, that tail. The loincloth, just everything about this piece is just absolutely amazing. The details in that mouth. He's just, I can't even describe, words can't describe how beautiful this piece is. We have him here, and then we have Nightcrawler. And of course, all the pieces here have the concrete base, so they all belong like in the courtyard scene. That's why they're on this side versus over there. All those pieces over there all have the school. They're all on top of the wood. So this battle scene takes place inside the school. This battle scene takes place outside of the school. And then we have not my favorite display here. I love Warpath back there because he's tall. He looks amazing. He's simplistic. He stands out there. I don't like Deadpool here. Like, we have these 4 characters like literally just there, but there was just some extra space there because of his hand. I needed extra space here, so 4 of these figures fit there. Ideally not how I'd want to display them, but in due time, right? And ideally, I don't see this being here long term, just to make that very clear. Back to Deadpool, it's my least favorite position character I have on this entire dio. I don't like him there at all. We have Cable, which looks great, and then we have Pyro. One of my favorite features, if you were curious, Quicksilver fits perfectly on top of Sentinel number three's base. He looks amazing the way the rocks are breaking through here and he's about to come through this path. It looks amazing. So if you're curious like what you can fit there, Quicksilver looks amazing. And then we go into the final Dio piece, which is Sentinel number three. We have Kitty phasing through again. Another highly sought after piece because it's exclusive only to Sentinel number three. We have Psylocke, which looks amazing. Again, I think the biggest issue with this entire series is the fact that Storm and Iceman, there we have Iceman. Outside of Iceman and Storm, they're the only two that are kind of interacting with the Sentinel and battling him, while the others are, I don't know what they're doing. I think something I would really love to do here with Kitty is add like some wires, as if she's pulling wires out of the Sentinel's thigh. I think that would be great. The fact that she wasn't facing him and grunting, it's just I don't understand this pose whatsoever. It's the biggest setback. And then we have Psylocke, which honestly, like, she's creating battle damage, she's cutting through, and I can definitely see her. I can definitely see her battling him. Maybe she's about to come out, but if her head were to be facing and grunting, not that we can. There we go. If it was facing this way and she was grunting, and her body was more towards the right, then it would make perfect sense, but it doesn't. So there's Psylocke for you. But of course, the absolute most awkward is just, what is Archangel doing, man? What is he doing here? Again, he's another one that can be, it's just his face. His face doesn't come off. But if it was turned and he was grunting towards the Sentinel, it makes so much more sense, right? His wingspan is quite long. Again, I love Storm here. She looks amazing. It looks like she has that patent leather boot. Just how they created that was amazing. The thunder that's coming right through the Sentinel. And by the way, if you wanted a Sentinel that looked in mint condition, that doesn't have much or any battle damage, this would be it. Because technically the only battle damage it has is that Psylocke sword, and then you have this piece of ice here on his leg. And so if you were looking for a Sentinel and you wanted to buy the loose Sentinel, this would be the one to buy, is number 3. They sell him individual with no proximity pieces attached to him. Again, I don't even know why Iron Studios did that. They literally did that with all 3. They made them without proximity pieces. Who bought them? I have no idea. Who would buy them? It just makes no sense because you don't get the characters. Why would you just want a large Sentinel when you can just get these? And if you had to get 2 of them, you definitely want the first, and you're going to want the third. The second, you can purchase all the proximity pieces separately. Again, Gambit, Magneto, and Juggernaut are incredibly difficult, especially Juggernaut now to come across. Originally, it was a Brazilian con exclusive, and it could only have been purchased in Brazil. So this is definitely a piece you'd have to import on the secondary market, but again, it's steep in price and rare to come across. It doesn't pop up too often on the secondary market. So again, a true collector, you're gonna want all 3 of them with their proximity pieces already attached to them, and again, that first one being the rare one. So I'm curious what your thoughts are on this series. Also, sometimes I've asked, 'cause I have a large collection and I still have other stuff, and I collect a lot of shit. And I've sometimes asked, like, what's my most coveted thing that I own or collect, and it's definitely this. Like, nothing will ever top this series. No other studio in the history of ever has created a diorama scene that's so consistent. And by the way, we're still missing so many more pieces. We have who do we have? Lady Deathstrike. We have Domino. We have Logan. We have D. and Albert. We have Logan. We have Dark Phoenix. We have Apocalypse. Who else do we have coming? I feel like I'm missing a few other people. X-23. These are all Spiral. These are all pieces that are all on pre-order and still arriving. So there's a lot more. And though Iron Studios is focusing right now on Age of Apocalypse, they put this series on a halt. Now they've been getting a lot of backlash and a lot of feedback from us all over socials that we want more pieces like Toad. I mean, there's so many other pieces we want, right? A Dazzler, a Long Shot. We want so many more pieces, and hopefully we get them, right? And so a great way to stay connected is join. There's an incredible Facebook group. I'll link below. Make sure to follow Iron Studios on Facebook. They're actually quite responsive in their thread, so yes. And again, there's that Age of Apocalypse series, which I will not be getting because that's going to be long term. It's going to be about it's going to be close to like about an $8,000, $10,000 investment once that series is done. But my experience is that Iron Studios is also getting a pushback on that series. It distracted from not being able to complete this series, right? So people want to complete this before they consider another one. As you can see, this takes up a ton of room. That's it's about 5.5 feet. It may not look so on camera, but it's intense and in depth about 40 inches. So it's quite intense. And so yeah, there you have it. I'm curious to know what your thoughts are, and also how much this would cost you. This is about a $15,000 investment by the time the entire series is done. Close to about $28,000. Which is ridiculous. It's a freaking car. But it's so much prettier than a car, right? And again, with that one right there, that's going to bring the price well over because this is already $5,000. And again, what I paid for this is probably close to $12,000-$13,000 so far. By the time, like I said, it's all said and done, we're looking at close to a $20,000 investment. So again, it's not cheap. It's no studio's ever done something like this. I don't think no studio will ever do something like this and or of this magnitude ever. It's crazy. Who would make this investment, right? And again, this series has been out for just close to 2 years. It really released in 2001 is when it released. Early 2000 is when it started coming in. Late 2000, sorry. Mid 2000s is when we first got the Cable, Mystique, and Professor Xavier. Now it's 2022, and this is everything that's been released so far. I think we may get like 3 more Dio pieces that will launch this year, and then the remaining coming out in 2023. So it's close to about a 3-year journey, right? So definitely worth it. Something like this will never be released again. So I just absolutely love it. And it's far cooler than the Avengers Infinity War final scene. I think this is so much more epic and it's so much more cohesive. So let me know what your thoughts are below. I appreciate y'all being here. Don't forget to hit that smash button, subscribe, stay connected here. We upload content every Monday and Thursdays. It means the world to have you here. It allows me to continue to bring you content, and I appreciate you all so much. Keep collecting, and until the next one, over and out.